Lesson 132. Wooden, hut, woolen, silken, golden. A wooden hut is a hut made of wood. A woolen hat is a hat made of wool. A silk dress is a dress made of silk, whilst silken hair is hair which is soft and smooth like silk. A gold watch is a watch made of gold, whilst golden hair looks like gold in colour. What's a wooden hut?
A wooden hut is a hut made of wood.
What's a woolen hat?
A woolen hat is a hat made of wool.
What's a silk dress?
A silk dress is a dress made of silk.
What's silken hair?
Silken hair is hair that looks like silk.
What's a gold watch?
A gold watch is a watch made of gold.
What's golden skin?
Golden skin is skin that looks like gold in colour.
Every other day. Do you have English lessons every day or every other day? Otherwise. Engaged. When a friend calls upon you at your house and you are otherwise engaged, what do you do? If a car had no wheels and all its windows were broken but otherwise was in good condition, would you buy it? Perform, trick, performance. If you had to perform in a play, what kind of part would you like to perform? Can you perform any tricks? What time does the last performance begin at your local cinema? Envy. Do you envy a teacher his job? Advice. Advise. Practice. Practice. License. License. What's the difference between advice and advise?
The difference between advice and advise is that advice is the noun, whilst advise is the verb.
What's the difference in spelling between the noun, practice, and the verb, practice?
The difference in spelling between the noun practice and the verb practice is that the noun is spelt C-E, whilst the verb is spelt S-E.
And between the noun license and the verb license?
It's the same difference.
Record. Record. What's the difference between the words record and record?
The difference between the words record and record is that record is the noun, whilst record is the verb.
Can you think of any record that has been broken recently? Have you ever recorded your own voice? Scatter. Row. Disorderly. What are the disadvantages of scattering seeds on the land instead of setting them carefully in the ground in rows?
The disadvantages of scattering seeds on the land instead of setting them carefully in the ground in rows are that birds eat them, the wind blows them away, etc.
Why does a disorderly crowd of people scatter when the police arrive?
When the police arrive, a disorderly crowd of people scatters because people are afraid of being arrested or hit by the police, etc.
Tap. Turn on. Anti-clockwise. What am I doing?
You're tapping your fingers on the table.
In which direction does one normally turn a water tap on?
One normally turns a water tap on in an anti-clockwise direction.
Upside down, right way up. What am I doing?
You're turning the book upside down.
What's the opposite of upside down?
The opposite of upside down is the right way up.
Wear, rub, worn out, mend. What would happen if I kept rubbing my arm on the edge of the table like so?
If you kept rubbing your arm on the edge of the table like so, you'd wear the arm of your jacket smooth and probably wear a hole in it.
What do we do with things that are worn out?
We mend or throw away things that are worn out.
Experience, qualification. Which do you think's more important, experience or qualifications? Debt. What does it mean to be in debt?
To be in debt means that we owe somebody something, usually money.
Interrupt, interruption. What do we say when we interrupt someone who's speaking?
When we interrupt someone who's speaking, we say, "Excuse me."
What do they say on television when there's an interruption?
When there's an interruption on television, they say, "We're sorry for the interruption."
Mention. Give me a sentence with the word mention in it.
Would you mention to Mr. Green the fact that he still hasn't paid his bill, and see what he says?
Idiom 35. Get hold of the wrong end of the stick equals understand the opposite of what is meant. For example, no, you've got hold of the wrong end of the stick. It's the opposite of what I meant. What does the idiom get hold of the wrong end of the stick mean?
The idiom get hold of the wrong end of the stick means understand the opposite of what is meant.
Give me an example, please.
Every time you explain anything to him, he always seems to get hold of the wrong end of the stick.
Clothing.